am a navigator, not a servitor. If I may... I'm not accustomed to being ordered around. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. I am a navigator, not a servitor.
As the Emperor commands, I act. Doubt is for the weak. None can escape the Emperor's judgment.
Open mine.
As the Emperor commands, I act. I'm not injured. I'm enraged.
Indeed. I will do my duty. Victory is imminent. Ah! Pain and duty go hand in hand.
But of course. Anything else? Will do. What an unfortunate turn of fate.
Brace yourself, Abelard! Hey-ya!
Request approved. The scriptural promise significant value. The Omniscient knows all, comprehends all. Running binaric override.
I'll do it. Faith without deeds is worthless. Blessed are those who sacrifice for the Imperium.
I'll do it again, because that was absolutely shit.
if I may? I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Doubt is for the weak. Eradicated. Rejoice in battle! As the Emperor commands, I act. My faith shields me!
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
One fewer target. It will be done. Go!
Isn't this a job for the serfs? Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. I'm afraid not.
Anything else? Was that you? Or... on it. But of course.
Activate calculated fury algorithm. Request approved.
I'll do it. None can escape the Emperor's judgment. As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith without deeds is worthless. God Emperor, move through me! Be the fire in my heart! I'll do it. Eradicated.
Why? Why me?
Sorry, doing it again.
At your beck and call. Indeed, reduced to dust. It will be done.
Pain cleanses the body.
Emperor, deliver us! Isn't this a job for the serfs?
This is unacceptable. Doubt is for the weak. Strike is a prayer. As the Emperor commands, I act.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
None will stand against me.
Don't you need a breathing navigator?
Will do. Darkness consumes.
Lost in our ranks.
The whispers must be appeased. Anything else?
Prognosis is favorable. Running binary override.
I will not. The enemies of the Emperor will be undone! I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act.
The shivering young servant looks up at you with horror in his eyes. Emperor, protect me. They killed. Every time I warn them, and then they go all, Dear Emperor, our Lord and Savior, how could this happen? Who could have thought? Idira spits on the ground in annoyance. Stop quivering, unwashed worm, and answer me. Who would dare to attempt such an outrageous attack? Your lordship, those guys were Anvers. They are a gang. They are the worst. I'm telling you, they are scared of no one, not even Liege Tok'ra. He glances around like he's expecting the bandits to appear. Does this happen often around here? Shooting, yes. Attacks on nobles, not very often, unless it's the Anvers. They are vicious. Not a week goes by without them killing and cutting somebody. They are wicked heretics. They respect nothing. They follow no rules. Go and report this to your liege. Yes, I'm sorry, your lordship. I'll just go report to the liege. They killed her. They killed my lady. Oh, this is terrible.
That is foolishness.
We needed no rules or leaders. We are not an organization, we are force of nature. The tall, hunched priest stares at you unblinkingly. A break-in mask conceals his gaunt features. The skin on his hands is of a sick grey hue, while his argument shows sign of combat damage and a place in the black chromium, giving him a general air of lugubriousness. Initiate an identification procedure. This unit is identified as Logis Opticon 22 and is fully authorized representative structural part of the Cognizance fleet and the priesthood of the Adaptus Mechanicus. Access has been granted to the following options: information exchange, strength of diplomatic links, trade deals, donations. Initiation official greeting procedure for esteemed high-value visitors. Glory success to House von Valentius. A Binharik area begins to flow from the scratch vox attend to the tech priest's chest. Request information exchange regarding contractual obligation, logistic and theta. Pascal and Opticon 22 exchange glances and a short series of Binharek signals before bowing their heads in satisfaction. Opticon 22 head bowed noticeably lower than Pascal's. What is logistical theta? Under the contractual obligation in question 34.761 Terran cycle ago, the exploration cognizance fleet received from representatives authorized units of the von Valens dynasty a volley of high-grade protheum equal to the fuel capacity of 6 Tantalian Void tankers. Received it and then didn't pay, compensate, remunerate, settle accounts. Should I go on? Or is there enough synonyms? The stipulated payment reciprocal offering from the Cognizance fleet can be made to von Valencia's asset at the current time, after which the contractual obligation will be fulfilled or archived. Confirm your status regarding acceptance of the payment reciprocal offering. I confirm I'm willing to accept the payment. You waited 30 years to pay up. Execution of payments reciprocal offering is in accordance with the specification of the contractual obligation. Allocation of assets from the holdings of the cognitive fleet was initiated when the tankers reached the main squadron. 14.905 Terran cycle after the initial transaction. The asset allocation process concluded 2.663 Terran cycles later. Transportation of assets to the Furibur system took 16.862 Terran cycles. Final delivery of assets to Footfall took 0.331 Terran cycle. Clever, if you had been purchasing fuel for a squadron at the other end of the Imperium, you may never have to pay at all. We would have turned to dust before you made it there and back. You're saying that my dynasty has had extensive business dealing with you. This statement is true. The Cognizance fleet concluded 1292 contractual obligation with the von Valencius dynasty as a represented, led, administered by the counterpart identified as Theodora von Valencius. The most substantial was Pact A Yule in accordance with Archmagus Cubis Delphim, Delta Asher to the sevenfold hallowed workshop of the secret world of Euphrantes II, was transferred to the planet Kiava Gamma to perform the duties of minister as its fabricator censor. The service of such high entitled enhanced authorized servant were recompensated via the offering of paid for with a 7-year contract granting the fleet exploration vessel maintain its privilege at the Kiava Gamma facilities. That is true. In the last couple of decades, Lady Theodora took pains to form a strong relationship with the Cognizance fleet. She turned down a dozen candidates looking for the right tech monitor to watch over Kiava Gamma. What payments can I expect? Universal Mobile Orbital Deployment Extra Astra Arthur Proceeding Complex Inequality stipulated in a contractual obligation. Each unit has undergone a cycle of maintenance liturgies and has been assessed for conformance of the sacred standard temple construct. Great creation of the Omniscia, blessed be his beneficence, which has bestowed upon this complex industry a might and full cycle of reproduction and life support. Fucking hell, I mean, some language sometimes in here is like mad. The request is accepted. The sacred machinery will be loaded up to haul to your vessel. The contractual obligation Logistica Theta is concluded. The cognitive fleet thanks Hasbun Valencia for your cooperation. I seek a friendship with Adeptus Mechanicus. The priesthood of Adeptus Mechanicus is interested in considered expeditious cooperation with rogue traders. Under the terms of the Treaty of Mars, it is willing to provide service to the Von Valenci's dynasty. The priority of service tasks can be raised and diplomatic links are strengthened. The Cognizance fleet will be glad, alternative and available to accept any samples of sacred technology, samples of profane xenotech, miscellaneous item. Reminder, storage, study and or disposal of the aforementioned object with the exception of miscellaneous item is preferable right of the Adeptus Mechanicus. The Explorator fleet will also accept information about planets in Cornus Expanse that have not previously been recorded in the planetary register. Why do you want information about planets? Omnifaceted study of the Cornus Expanse is the sacred mission operation objective of the Cognizance fleet. Information about the planets and stars system of the Cornus Expanse Mars will be completed, studied and transferred to the holy repositories of Mars upon completion of the Great March of Exploration mission. This process increases the totality of knowledge and decreases the totality of ignorance in the universe. Why are you interested in Xenovet? Isn't this that heresy? The Cognizance fleet finds it reasonable to believes that forbidden knowledge in the hands of lately causes destruction and violation that go against the Omniscient will. Weakness of mind and will unleash Xenoheresy, which consumes the lately whole. An example that demonstrates the outline path is avoid station in the system of La Grande Belt. According to the data available to the Cognizance fleet, the heretics on the station have trade relation with Xenos for the sake of obtaining dangerous and pernicious technology. The destruction of these heretics is a high priority but not high enough to demand immediate action. Opticon, that's a strange name. The designation Opticon is an identifier with an illustrious history, a significant number of archive references and used by many exploration in Cognizance fleet. The extension 22 is a custom addition made by a current unit designed to highlight the unit's unique personality. So what is the Cognizance fleet? The Cognizance fleet is an explorator fleet form produced by the Adeptus Mechanicus for the purpose of surveying, optimally conquering the Cornus Expanse. The fleet core squadron is located in data classified, while auxiliary echelons and automatons void vessels are operating throughout the entirety of the Cornus Expanse. May the Omniscia favor be with tech comrades. Pascal reverently touches the explorator insignia on his robe. So you're an explorator? Then why are you here instead of exploring faraway systems? This unit functioned as a senior planetary scout for the duration of data classified procedural cycles. It was distinguished with 3 promotion by 1 grade, the right to Tier 2 sacred augmentation, annotation in the fleet-wide archive as a valuable unit. After a reconnaissance mission in the Tinaurus system, this unit was promoted to the rank of Logis and transferred to Foothold in order to perform the functions appropriate for its current status. There is something close to wistfulness in Opticon 22, otherwise emotional voice. emotionless voice. My archive contains data on the reconnaissance of the Titari system and the associated special circumstances. I express my respect for a veteran and adherent of the fleet. Valid assessment. The Titari system was a great test of faith, an assessment of this unit durability threshold, an act of destructive xenocide. So what happened there? Pascal and Opticon turn to you and snap in unison. Data classified. So what are you doing here? This unit performs residential representation, maintenance of the bureaucratic machine for the purpose of ratification of the insulating boundaries, management of the Kappa threat supply line, complication of astrographic reconnaissance data. Abelard lets out a long and heavy sigh. There was once a tech acolyte in Lady Theodora retinue who knew the unique language of the esteemed tech priests. I only began to realize the true value of his abilities after he'd been devoured by the xenobeast on some nondescript world. Pascal, do these words have a translation? A hiss of static resembling a sigh comes out of Pascal's vox. Opticon 22 functions can be conveyed through flesh speak, as functioning as the fleet's diplomatic mission, overseeing shipment, ensuring that the line T does not encroach upon the exploratory sphere of interest, and collecting data on the star system. Why are you here and not in the Liege Palace? Prolonged communication with lie people of high social standing causes this unit vexation, desire for forceful cessation of vital function, grief, decline in motivation, righteousness fury, willingness to initiate purity protocol. Remaining in the arena of repair, the maintenance of sacred machine is beneficial to the unit's cognitive function. This statement is true. The behavioral dynamic typical to the lay grounds are frequently devoid of logical patterns and taxing to analyze.
if such is the Emperor's will.
I know the local Adeptus Mechanicus use it to get around their boats. Are easily to tell apart from the other pirate smugglers and other scum. His Lordship Netis von Valencia's rock trader by the grace of the God Emperor, the Secret Lord of the Treasure.
Quiet. They're trying to tell me something.
Internal report. I'm writing to inform you that 2 days ago the discharge was interrupted by a raid launched by the Anvers gang. In the attack, 3 loader servitors were put out of commission. Furthermore, 1 cargo container, serial number FVDA 1-16165, was stolen along with the contents.
Blessed be the road that we take.
This container is marked foodstuff, but it's empty by the look of it. Has not been moved in a while. Leaflet. Now it's our time, not days. Go to their homes, drag them out of the beds, carve open the bodies like carcasses at the slaughterhouse. The Imperial Navy Kasbilica Jorda von Valencius, their names mean nothing now. Tomorrow will erase them from memory. Go and seize the power, and such is your can carry. The small aunt of the central spot has been given to Drusus, a saint from the neighboring Kalik sector, who is widely revealed in Corona's expanse.
Calculating optimal route.
Walls of the container have rusted and the contents rotted away, the situation that is not uncommon for shipment trying to pass through Imperial customs. The container is labeled Destination Janus. It is covered in dust. It must have been sent a long time ago. Rather than sit on it.
The world is full of colors I have never seen before.
Strange memo. The holy book by the altar. The Voidam custom guy. He's always on duty. Does he get any time off? Does he ever leave for piss? Is it save data or something? Guess what? Hangar. Guess what? Hangar by the window. Remember to bow to the Emperor through the window. At first glance, these look like standard containers, but the frames have been reinforced so the sealing improved to keep the smell in. These are used to transport contraband.
I'll warn you if I hear anything.
Finest wines from Janus.
Activating motive force reserves. You have your hand. You know that. Have you been on the fatty? Hmm? Been heavy.
It wasn't time to destroy these tiles. They are definitely pried out with purpose and diligence. Towards the flame like this, you idiot. We almost refueled here. We show you how it's done. I'm just not feeling it anymore, that's all. The guy is pretty much the cinder now. It was a lot more fun when he was alive and trashing about.
Whatever you wish.
I see your darkened colors.
Cease and repent!
If I may,
Victory is imminent. One fewer target. Oh, my ears are ringing.
I have read tomes of military tactics.
Doubt is for the weak. None can escape the Emperor's judgment. Faith without deeds is worthless. I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. I'll do it.
Do not dare ask. As duty
Just
demands.
a minor setback.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
yourself, Abelard.
I'm afraid not. If only that were possible. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
On it. They who discern the future on the battlefield. No can do. There is movement in the Empyrean. Anything else? But of course, ill fortune has found me.
Really?
Don't leave us! That's an order!
I need your Aegis.
Cover me. Will do. Was that you? Or... anything else?
My soul shall become like fire. To the Emperor's light, for I am his chosen.
I know what is to come. Will do.
Emperor. Embrace of death, our Emperor. My soul shall become like fire. It's an honor.
Such is their will.
She touch him.
Your aegis, O Emperor. Hold embrace of death, our Emperor. Aegis, O Emperor.
Should block it once.
Shall become like fire. Cold embrace. Your aegis, O Emperor! The Emperor's light!
Target well struck.
Shall become like fire. Embrace of death. O Emperor, deliver us.
We're at a tactical disadvantage. Pain and duty go hand in hand.
Request approved.
I've suffered worse. At your beck and call. Indeed.
Running binary override. The scriptural prognosis is favorable.
My ears are ringing.
Martyrdom is the reward.
Help me, Lord Captain! Isn't this a job for the serfs? Do not dare ask. I'm afraid not.
Flesh is weak, yet iron knows no pain. Explorators know one route. Forward. Request significant value. Running binary override. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all. Damage is negligible.
At your beck and call. Reduced to dust. Victory is imminent. I will do my duty.
I'll show you why navigators are feared.
Request approved. Function successfully terminated.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. At your beck and call. One fewer target. Indeed.
But of course. Will do.
High momentum.
Emperor, deliver us. I'm a navigator, bow painted black.
If only you knew what awaits you.
He's waiting for you. You know the place to be there on time. The turn can be seen from the entrance of the Adeptus. Make sure some Gauka doesn't see where you're going.
Look no further. Let me help.
Integrity factor increased.
Marching on. Oh, this master-crafted patellar augment is not fit for a servitor.
Say no more.
The machine gun grants me insight.
The sooner we start. Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
Now it's our time, not theirs. Go to their homes, drag them out of the beds. Carve open the bodies like carcasses of the slaughterhouse. The Imperial Navy car Balikakcho Jordan von Valencius. Their names mean nothing now. Tomorrow will erase their memory. Same one, isn't it? From behind the closed doors, you hear the humming of the private washing machine and its voices laundry workers. Wastewater is safe drinking after purification, not being used for laundering.
Executing request.
People in the crowd look greedily goods for what they have, neither coupons for money.
Light of terror, guide our way.
Small nook in the stone is empty apart from dust, a few scraps of paper. There is evidence that the cache once had small door covering in an unlocking mechanism.
Pay attention.
Under a layer of rusty scratches and ancient paint, the silhouettes of the long erased letters are barely visible. Undoubtedly in the past, this filthy sign was adorned with the proud name of the bureaucratic heart of the entire Imperium, Adaptus Administratorium. Before you is a compartment of a massive void ship adopted into a living space. From inside the building, the clicking of the glass and numerous voices can be heard.
If such is the Emperor's will.
I'll guide your vessel and lead you on your way.
The man stops and salutes you with his flamer. Your lordship, what an honor. The whole of the footfall is talking about the new head of the House von Valencia's foreman or football utility crew 3 at your service. What are you doing? Just burning rats, and some trash, and some parasites of the other sorts. The district's under quarantine, you see. I got hit by something nasty, a disease, or maybe it isn't disease, just some bugs and worms what's crawling out of some ship or other. It is a bit odd that this happened here and not at the docks, I'll grant you. Things like that usually start there. They even sprayed the place with some gunk to kill all the bugs and worms, but I guess something slipped through. Two families in a block away, over three snuffed it, and the Liege wasted no time getting the district surrounded so nobody could leave. So you don't actually know what happened in the district. Disease, bugs, or something else. A thousand apologies, your lordship, but no, we don't, and we rather not find out. Who in the right mind would want to get closer to whatever it is? We've contained the Foundless, and that's good enough if you ask me. How exactly did the victim die? Who knows? They found them in the hovels already dead, blue sores on their bodies, and they stank somewhat awful, which is why the lot that found them didn't even risk looting the corpses. Good on them, I guess. Doesn't mean we let them out, of course. What measure has been taken to deal with the problem? Yeah, looking at them. We're standing here, burning the foulness, and we got people standing guard so that no one escapes. Put some mines down, a whole lot of them, for the same reason. The water, the sewers, all blocked off to stop the communication getting out. The air's opened, I suppose, but the foulness doesn't seem to be airborne. There haven't been any strange deaths outside the district. Are the people trapped in the quarantine zone being provided with aid of any kind? Of course not. I mean, I heard Raverard, Hieronymus, has been praying for the souls, which is sounded like more retribution fell upon them, and rightly so. That's the most they can hope so. I wish to enter. Your lordships have mercy. I can't say no to you, but the danger is just as real as you, as is the whole station. We'll clear the way for you, but it will take time, a lot of time. It won't be easy to break down the barricades and disarm the mines. He gave you a long look, like hoping that you will reconsider, but after receiving no reaction, he gave the order to his assistants.
Whatever you wish.
Let's go to the ship to get this off. Click the leg. Nice little spot. It's good to see folks enjoying themselves, even the air in the field nice and to breathe. Come on. Oh, come here, little fella. Oh. Got ya. We're going to that way. Can eat my nose. That's what it is.
So shall it be.
Would you look at that?
This Explorator is blessed with multifunctionality. Operation successful.
Stacks of the plates are lumps of sawdust, toxic waste that is sometimes passed over ordinary nutritious stretch.
Marching on.
The machine god grants me insight.
Oh, what are you doing? The mana system of the adapters looks eerie. Just leave me. To design the internal scan of the fuel compartment, someone has inserted new data into the void pointer left over the ancient times.
Duty prevails.
The upholstery of the deity sofa moves slightly. A soft kissing can be distinct heard from the depths of the furniture.
Anything worthy of my attention.
Lovers of pitiful food is struck on the sides of the plates.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a
The
challenge.
data center used to contain a cheap Amasek, which, for the sake of attractiveness, has obviously been enriched with the, with the deals. What are we doing? Come on, that's enough. Oh, cool, we had a nice cuddle.
How can one find the right way without his light?
Who can say? The burly woman with a wealth of fiery hair in the process of tinkering with some unknown device that is clinking melodiously. She has a rough-looking implant in place of her lower jaw. As you approach, the implant begins to move, as if independently of the rest of the face. Welcome to the Adaptus Amasecarus, sir. What can Octavia get you? Amasec? Leho? Something more interesting? Octavia freezes in place. It can't be. Are you Sister Argenta? The Sister Argenta. The one who has the worst scam of foothold shaking in the boots. The whole station is talking about you. And here you are in the flesh in our humble Amasacus. Argenta stops Octavia torrent of adoration with a calm gesture. No more. I seek retribution against transgressor, not a glory for myself. Despite her words, you catch a glint of Argenta's eyes. You can tell she's enjoying this enraptured attention. What is this place? You are in the oldest watering hole in the foothold, sir. The Adeptus Amascus is the only Adeptus one can find in foothold, she laughs hoarsely. I'm Octavia. I serve drinks, lend an ear, and if it comes down to it, quiet the rowdy one. She sighs you up carefully. Folks usually come to Amasacus for either pleasure or business. May I ask what brought you here? I was just curious about this place. Well, it sure is nice to know what's this dive piques the interest of people other than thugs and boozers. Then again, the Damascus is like a grox. The outside is horrible to look at, but the inside are remarkably useful if you know what you're doing. Octavia leans forward. Sitting at the bar often puts folk in a talkative mood, and I don't see anybody paying me to keep quiet. Visits from the eminent individuals like yourself boost the status of my establishment, so I can rely you by sharing what I overheard. Some of it might help you out, if you in your dealings. Well, no doubt you picked up a lot of local knowledge working in this place like this. Do you know anything about the Anvers gang? She gives you a searching look and answered in a lowered voice. Maybe I do know something, but let's not shout about it to the whole bar, alright? I'll be here long after you walk out this bar, and the Anvers respect no agreements, law, or the gangs. You look at them the wrong way, and you're dead. Anyway, to the point. Those Anvers are scum among scum, the most unhinged goons you can find on footfall. And even other unhinged goons want nothing to do with them. They have no hierarchy, no territory, nothing, only a nameless leader who most of the Anvers haven't seen once. The leader sends them leaflets with inspiring messages. Followers are recruited by the other followers. The liege try to bring them into line, but it's like this. You clear out the group, and in the meantime 5 more springs up elsewhere. Like I said, no one knows who the leader is or where his operates from. But there are what I've noticed. The most recent Anvers leaflets, the ones so fresh you can smell the ink on them, always show up in the same area on the Big Slam asteroid. Let me show you where this is real quick. Uses a drop of liquor to brew a basic map right at the bar. Right around here. I'm positive they're pointing the little poem somewhere in the printing the little poem somewhere in this area. Oh, this is an odd name. Daptus Amascus. Not very reverent. Octavia chuckles. What makes you say that? Do you know where you're standing? On a deck of Martyr's Endurance, a sacred vessel that once belonged to Adaptus Administratum. 100 years ago, the bureaucrats sent a mission here to establish a department, set up some kind of record-keeping overhaul foothold, and make everything here follow a billion laws to the letter. As you can see, it was the Martyr's Endurance and its inhabitants that got overhauled in the end. I don't know what happened to them, but the locals like to come here to make deals and count their money like before, in this temple of the Imperium Accountants. Over there you can see even the signs being preserved partially. I don't know how a place like this could appear in the Emperor's light. The Emperor is always with us, sir. Did you even see the statue outside? It's kinda hard to miss. So the thing is visible through the very crack. The Immortal One watches over us, and since he hasn't yet blown his sorry excuse for a station to smithereens, and this bar among with it, I guess it suits him just fine. So how are things on the foothold? Haven't been to our fine station for a while, have you, sir? As per usual, there's never a dull moment. Neither someone's getting shot in the square or some rich guys going to safari to hunt commoners in the shadow quarters. Sure, the Liege make sure that the local shenanigans don't get in the way of business on the station, but what happens on the outskirts adds a little peace, spice to our lives. We make do, but the real trouble is, with every passing day it gets harder to find grub. I heard that some horrors are happening in the void outside Fort Deepwood, that not all ships are making it here, and the liege all patrons don't seem to be in a hurry to help. It's taken a toll on Vladimir's authority. As if his authority was too hard, we'll have plenty of people lining up to take his place. Give me the latest. The one might interest you, a tale I heard from a tipsy voidborn from a cargo barge. They exited the warp halfway between Fulburus and the Aviorus system and came up when shuttle wreck drift. The shuttle was registered to the inevitably of Triumph, the merchant ship that disappeared a decade ago. She was bound for Footcall, her cargo holds brimming with valuable goods, but she never made it. If anything at all survived the shipwreck, it could be acquired by a lucky find. Here another tidbit for you. Some poor sot was here brawling about how this crew tossed our whole shipment of cargo along with the trash, and it was his fault somehow. He hid the fact, and once they docked at Footcall, he immediately went to the rum. Went on a run. No surprise there, had they discovered his blunder, he would have been executed. I don't know what sort of cargo he was, but the ship he served unusually goes between Footholds and Winterscale realm. She passes the 100 Dreams Crossroads and Largenbelt. If you happen by the area, you might want to look for whatever this Indian chucked overboard. That will do for now. Give me some drink. Octavia looks at you closely, then takes a bottle from a shelf and unlocks it. The transparent, purging, smiling liquid quickly fills the glass and sits between you. Pascal respirator hisses quietly as he says his insinuating tone. The alchemical composition of the substance is known to me, but never before I have come across such an unusual application, an exquisite path of martyrdom in honor of the Omnisha. Take a good look at it. The glass contains a liquid that is clearly made from spent promethium. This is a moonshine, virtually unfiltered, that quickly blows the drinker off their feet, and when embedded regularly turns the liver into a bubbling sponge. The liquid burns your tongue, then your throat, and then your stomach. It takes your breath away, but after a few seconds it spreads through your body, and your head falls a little bit lighter than usual. Octavia clicks her tongue in approval. That's the second time I've seen Noble drink the octane blend without wincing, but I won't offer you any more. I've got just the thing set aside for such an occasion. Octavia grabs a dusty and open bottle from under her bar and clean glass. The amber liquid splashes against the crystal walls, and she adds in a couple black pebbles. The soft, spicy aroma tickles your nostrils. You said I am the second person to drink this without wincing? The first was Caligo's Winterscale. That's right, the head of Has Winterscale himself used to come here often. Impressive guy. True, Whenever any of his officers came through the door, the local would themselves a hole in a hiding. The locals would find themselves a hole to hide in. Drinks weren't the only things his lordship liked knocking back. If someone so much as looked at him funny, he'd paint the walls red. The amasek warms your throat pleasantly. You can make out a hint of spice, flavor of an oak barrel, and a distant earthy aroma. You feel a little more at peace, and you reach the bottom of the glass sooner than you'd like.
Litany of reconnaissance recited.
The flabby man is in worn clothes is singing sadly over a glass of murky booze. Only when he looks up at you do you notice his eyes, large, piercing and full of sorrow, a stark contrast of his unkempt appearance. Could be this someone actually wishes to keep me company? He takes a closer look at you. Not just someone, it's Lord von Valencius himself. Yours is the ancient and glorious line, your lordship. A number of magnificent structures built on your ancestors' orders, both for defensive and decorative purposes, remain in the Scarus sector. They keep your dynasty's memory alive despite the fact that it has long since focused its endeavors in a different sector. Abelard stares at you with surprise and respect. Even I wasn't aware of such details, and I have spent quite some time studying the chronicles of your noble bloodline. Allow me to introduce myself, Gordei Skatov, architectural historian. You look deeply despondent over something. What happened? Gordei sighs heavily. Here I go again, pouring my heart out to have you disappear in 10 minutes just like everyone else before you. But alright, here it is, the story of Gordei Sakov, the unluckiest historian in the Imperium. I was born 2 sectors away from here. My family was quite influential, which allows me to dedicate myself to a great passion, the history of Imperium architecture. I spent a number of years studying every scholarly work there was to find on this art, and then once I had inherited my family's fortune, I traveled and documented the development of architectural thought on a different worlds, until one day, that accursed and blessed day, until one day I came into possession of something quite special. Gordei pulls what looked like a book or an album with a homemade leather cover out of his bag. Both the pages and the binding look well worn. Here it is, my undoing. This is an authentic booklet titled Deviant Design, one of the thousands that were printed centuries ago in the times of footfall construction. Well, a curious read. Please tell us more. As Cassia takes a shy step forward, Gordei smiles and shows her some of her faded pages. Footfall's founder, Lord Parsimus, was obsessed with his creation grand future. This booklet described in detail that Footfall was meant to become upon its dozens of asteroids turned into glorious palaces and temples, massive bridges spinning the void itself, and the marvelous flying buttresses, the archivolts and the exterior arches, and the elegant arrangement of balustrades. And the interior, Polyphora's 10-story tall and more than a kilometer long, cyclopean light tubes that catch the light of Phobos and use it to brighten the whole of the heart of the asteroid. Strained glass windows, the mosaic, brass reliefs and statues, engrossing his own description and Garday stands up and starts tracing the outlines of arches and galleries with his hands. Iria blinks sleepily, barely suppress a yawn, and starts looking around with a bored expression. Emerging from his reverie, he catches himself, blushes slightly and loudly flops back onto his seat. I apologize, I got carried away. But you must understand how deep an impression this booklet left on me when my young self picked it up. I simply couldn't think about anything other than Foothold. I was ready to give my life just to see the incredible station. And of course, no matter how hard my friends and loved ones tried to dissuade me, I still gathered all my savings and set out on a journey. It is no easy feat to cross two sectors, especially for a common citizen, albeit one who has some resources at his disposal. I had to change one ship after another, at times being forced to stay on transfer worlds, waiting for a vessel headed in the right direction or for warp disturbance to subside. The voyage took a total of 107 years. In real space-time, of course. For me, it was much less than that. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 35. And then, after all those years having spent all my savings, I reached my dream. And what did I see? A dump in the place of the exquisite portico. Metal antleys clinging to the columns, the marble tiles pilfered and paupered to use uncutting for the hovers. Garday hangs his head. It's been dozen years since I came here, and I still haven't recovered from the shock. I had suspected that everything from the booklet would exist in reality, but I never expected to see Footfall in such a sorry state. It's like stumbling upon a horrible decomposing corpse of your beautiful beloved. Agenda gazed darkness. The warp, like the shameless thief, is guilty of stealing the short span allotted to his servants. But what sense is there in spending half your life on such an enterprise, only then to lose your spirit and waste the remaining half of nothing at all? So then, ink and paper too lie and cause pain, Cassius sighed sadly. Does this mean that all I have ever read about will one day disappoint me with the ugliness of reality? But you're an architectural historian. Is what will happen to Foothold not a part of history? Corday stroked his goatee in thought. Yes, Foothold's current appearance, slums fused together with the remnants of majestic palaces. It is a unique phenomenon. It would be curious to observe if other places have taken after it, thereby solidifying it as a new style of architecture. Or is it just still remains a local oddity? My word, you certainly know how to provide an expected perspective on things. Be that as it may, I just wanted to say thank you for hearing me out. Over the dozen years I have spent on the Footfall, not one person has hung around long enough to listen my story to the end. It's such delight to have shared everything that had been weighing on my mind. I'm poor as a church mouse, but I still have something to offer you as a token of appreciation. After studying the booklet thoroughly, I discovered something interesting, a ciphered message scattered throughout its pages, taking the form of a riddle. It describes certain places of interest on Footfall. I believe it is the work of the booklet's creator. What if these riddles lead to something, a wondrous discovery? I will gladly share what I've been able to learn with you. Riddles? A flash of burning, almost childish curiosity brightens Cassia Street countenance. Have you not tried to make this wondrous discovery for yourself? I have, of course, but I am an old man who is blind in one eye and can barely move his legs. I never found anything, but that doesn't mean there's nothing to find. Okay? Tell me. The first location from the riddle isn't far from here. It's a bridge that was supposed to go through the center of this district and into the void towards the neighboring asteroid. Only a couple of its spans were built, and even those lie in ruins. Still, if the cache survives after all these years, it's there somewhere. The second location is the Lantern of the Great Cathedral. The Great Cathedral, had it been built, would have been even bigger, but alas, its construction was just getting underway when Derwin died and the work stopped. The lantern from its dome, however, had already been built and survived. It was brought inside the atrium and doubled the chapel of Saint Darius the Warrior. And that's all I know. I wish you luck in your search.
This master-crafted patella augment is not fit for a servitor.
An upholstery of the dirty sofa moves slightly. A soft hissing can be distinctly heard from the depth of the furniture.
Calculating optimal route. This explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
The woman looks to be in her 40s and she is surveying you with interest. Her right eye appears almost black against the dusky skin, while her left eye emits a greenish light filtered through the smuggled lens of her prosthesis. Her arms are tattooed all the way from the base of the shoulders to her knuckles. Looking for something specific you're buying or maybe selling? Don't be shy, just ask. Old Riza knows all kinds of folks. My boys will fetch you anything your heart desires. Who are those boys you work with? Razalois had booming, raspy voice. You heard about how the Clipper Saint Cognatus got hit recently. The cargo was cleared out, everything of value taken. Well, that was my boss' handiwork. We call ourselves the Fellowship of the Void, an association of enterprising, like-minded people who help the upstanding citizens of the Imperium rid themselves of the possessions that are weighing them down. You notice Abelard's face twist in disgust. It would seem he has rather strong opinions on the individuals to whom Riza refers to as the Fellowship of the Void. Pirates in other words. Reza plastered a shocking expression on her face. Please do not, no need to be so crude. Your esteemed self, no doubt, is aware that Hieronymus preaches that asceticism is a virtue and on that only by rejecting material wealth can we ascend in faith. Well, I couldn't agree more. We are merely helping the servants of the Imperium to be little more like Hieronymus and taking small commissions from our trouble. What kind of goods are you willing to buy then? Tech is always the best. If it's broke, no sweat, we'll fix it, take it apart. And if you score something so nasty that your fussy everyday traders won't even look at it, fear not, just bring it to me. Leave it to me and the boys find the right buyer. The handling of sacred technology by a layperson uninitiated in the Omniscia priesthood is category 8 blasphemy, incriminating evidence of profane acts perpetrated by the unit name of Aldriza has been recorded for use in future judicial proceedings. She chuckles darkly. Do you mean to threaten me, Tech Priest? Well then, I'll keep a record of the conversation too. I wonder which of us will feel the harsh hand of justice first. Will it be me standing in chains before you brethren, or you standing in the airlock before my boys?
A nice little stroll.
I dare not provoke the whispers.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
Under the floor you can see the remains of the void ship life support system. It seems that whoever dismantled the vessel dedicated just to leave it in place.
If such is the Emperor's will.
Something ominous lurks ahead.
His columns appeared here back when the station was founded, when it's assumed that Footfall would become a wondrous palace of distant stars.
Whatever you wish.
The machine gun runs the insight.
An expected
Hey.
result.
What's that? I better myself through my service.
The numerous wounds and injuries indicate that this was a particularly brutal murder. The letter A and V are carved into the victim's shoulder blade.
Knowledge is eternal. Operation successful.
Onward.
I'll chart a course for you.
This Explorator is blessed with multifunctionality. Locomotives are fully operational.
The buzzing crowd has closed in on several harried-looking individuals. Some of their faces are smeared with fresh blood. The angry cries and twisted faces leave no doubt the massacre is about to take place. Just cut to the throat already. We were they thinking letting the ship dock at Footfall? They all stricken. No, no cutting. We get their blood on us. We'll be tainted too. Better burn them. Be quiet, you scoundrel. A priest clad in a simple black retirement cuts through the crowd like a void ship across the sky. You dare pass judgment on others? What arrogance to think you have the right. Argenta starts at the side of the elderly priest. That Reverend Hieronymus. I'm surprised he decided to intervene in a street squabble. Intervene. What's going on? Several dozen gays bore into you. And who are you supposed to be? I am Nette's rogue trader of the Von Valencius dynasty. The rabble rouse's expression changes completely and he makes a clumsy attempt at a bow, then crumples to his knees. Your lordship, I'm sorry. Sorry for not recognizing you. Yes, you see, It's just that it's your first time on Footfall and we didn't know. Terrified, he falls silent. We were just rooting out heresy here. These scrawny ones, they are from the ship that came from the bowels of the Coroner's Expanse. They've got plague there and mutants, and now they are spreading the drought everywhere. That taint, they're all silent. You must be completely out of your minds. A band of woeful, dim-witted reprobates who think themselves bringers of justice. Who are you to pass judgment on anyone? All you ought to be doing is suffering and repenting till the end of the days. And what's wrong about that, Reverend? You just want to put these heretics to death. We are not heretics, the haggard man on his majesty is. We refugees. I swear on the Golden Throne, we serve the Imperium faithfully until they hung us out to dry. Where were the protectors that were meant to shield the lands of humanity from nightmares? Traitors and heretics, the lot of them. A murmur runs through the crowd. The people gawk at you, at the priest, at the wretched group of huddling in the center. How tiring. The multi-sea of colors that fills this restless crowd is hard on the eyes. So many hues, but most of them are acid yellow streaks of fear, the red birds swelling, ready to burst, a pain to all who are gathered here. Cassia looks at the crowd of troublemakers wearily, and they shudder at the very sight of her. As for the heads of those who have been forced to defend themselves, they are shrouded in purplish black grief, but the words are as transparent as the ice that lies at the top of a glacier. But commoners are always deaf to others' suffering, for such is their nature. Interesting in their affairs is hardly worth of you or me, Nethys. It was a serious accusation you are sprouting. I hope you have a proof to back them up. What more proof do I need? The man shouts. Kiavagama used to be a preposterous world. My family transported goods from there for generations. And then they came. They butchered, tortured, sacrificed entire blocks of the darkness. We were on our ship up in orbit, and all these messages started coming in. Half the wardens down there joined them right away. And they even reached us in a ship with some blight and made half our crew make their own lives. We barely escaped, we barely made it. Why? Why did it happen to us? I wonder what all this about. Is our planet really under attack? Or did some devious opportunists send these scoundrels here to undermine the might of von Valencia's dynasty? Who could it be, I wonder? There is one guy, I bet you've heard of him. His name is Colonel Vogvier von Valencius. He ran from us too long ago after having his ass handed to him. He must be itching to get even. Get even by besmirching the dynasty to which it belongs, the supremacy over which he laid claim. He's scum, but he's no idiot. No, I think this is something else. There are many who wish to weaken House von Valencius. Either that or it's just simple, these people aren't lying and the planet was captured by heretics and the rest of them made up themselves. I can sense darkness in the past. I may not be expert of Kundrads and their schemes, but when it comes to things like this, I know what I'm talking about. I am the master of Kinwagama, and if those people are my subject, I am the only one who can decide what to do with them. I command the onlookers to disperse. As for the rest of you, go to the docks and await my further instructions. Hey! You lot heard what the Lord said. Get to the docks. The rabble-rouser turns to you and bows deeply. Don't you worry, none, your lordship. We'll go with these people. We'll watch them and make sure they keep the trap shut about you. The arrogance. The The arrogance and self-righteousness of a malefactor. The priest shakes his head disapprovingly, then his eyes shift to you. I am Reverend Hieronymus Doloroso, head of the Dursian mission here on Footfall. Thank you for stepping in. Please, come see me when you have time. We can talk then. The statue notably depicts Priscimus Darwin, the legendary rock trader who founded Footfall. The sight of Cognicator would be enough to break the tech priest's heart. The machine is leaning slightly to one side. The ones are grimly covered in scout drawings with favorite writing. Scratch are the casing. Several keys are missing and the rest are coated with dust. Pascal Respirator lets Armor through his before he says grimly. The right of operation has been repeatedly and blasphemously violated, requiring the identification and punishment of the deplorable acolyte entrusted with caring for the spirit of the machine. Let's repair it. After a series of creaks and gnaws, the dusty screen lights up. On it are several lines of text. Section heading. Praise to Omnished, the machine spirit of his cogitator is aggressive but willing to serve. Accompanied by the crackling of a Binharic prayer, Pascal mentioned right gently placed a couple of keys lying on the floor back into the place. The screen flickered a few times before revealing the word text in low Gothic. In the name of the founder of Football Station, conqueror of stars, builder of outposts, the noblest rogue trader Priscimus Darwin, and on behalf of his descendants, I welcome you. This cogitator was installed on the order of the illustrious Priscimus, so that they neatly may tap into the flow of his wisdom. Cast your eyes upon the list of sections and choose what you will wish to know. Abrad's borough first. Primus Darwin, I've never heard of such a rogue trader's house. Whoever this Priscimus was, he sure thought big. Lord Captain Priscimus Darwin, one of the trailblazers of the Coroner's Expanse and the station founder. I've read about his great deeds. Lord Darwin was once a colonel of the Astra Militarum, but by his will later inherited the warrant. He accumulated enough power to gather a small fleet of loyal allies and venture out to conquer the Coroner's Expanse. They said Footfall was meant to be his personal palace world, but the construction dragged for decades, and Lord Priscimus eventually died of old age. His enemy instantly tore Footfall to pieces and turned it into the bastion of humanity we know today. One that is full of bandits, privateers, hustlers, and rogue traders. Please Professor of Cassie nods slightly to let everyone know that she lecture is over. About Footfall. Footfall Station has been envisioned by the Grand Priscimus Darwin as a place of star in the stars, as majestic as the spirit and mind of its creator. As of the year of this cogitator installation, merely a small fraction of the great Priscimus design has yet been made a reality, but already the audacity and grandeur are staggering. Footfall is to become the gateway to the savage and barely explored Coroner's Expanse, a foothold for future conquest by the Imperium and noble Priscimus Darwin, who acts by the Emperor's will. The cogitator wheezes and blinks, clearly trying to shut down. The cogitator wills and screen turns back on. One of the first structures of the Footfall was a colossal statue of the Emperor. A whole asteroid was used for the creation of the sculpture, but even its titanic proportion cannot convey the awe that every faithful servant of the Imperium feels before the Master. The statue is in the center of the Footfall in a in the same way that the Emperor is in the center of our heart of the Imperium. As construction progresses, new small asteroids are being attached to the statue. They serve carved as a foundation for glorious palaces and temples, and the inner tunnels and homes for the commoners and rabble. The container flickers and grunts before displaying a tapestry of text. The great Parsimus Dawain intends to conquer the Corn's expanse and build the most grandiose structure which will shine through the ages, praising the names of the creator of his descendants. Footfall the place in the stars, the glory of the great Parsimus deeds will live on throughout the ages as his grand designs. The cogitator hisses and grunts as it tries to clean its insides by spawning out dust and ditches through its cracks. The cogitator hisses for a while, then the screen flickers and once more shows the words. The great Prasimus Darwin intends to conquer. Pascal Vox freezes him awfully. The spirit of this machine is enraged and will perform its function no more. I will see to it that his profane responsible for its maintenance are marked for servo penance.
Marching on.
The man with a face so drawn it appears to be made of nothing but skin and bone fixes his umbilical beard like eyes on you. The priest's simple black clothes have next to no adornments, and they do nothing to mask his unhealthy gauntlets. In a cracked voice he says, "The Emperor protects." You are? I am Reverend Hieronymus Doloroso, so I'm called. Head of the Dursian mission and possibly the last hope for the wayward souls that inhabit this fringe forsaken by our masters. A holy man are you? Here's some alms for you. I have no needs of bubbles. Play with them yourself if they bring you joy. Money can buy neither peace nor salvation. And you must be the young von Valencius. The name carries weight, and it is a burdensome one, for his reputation suggests that Theodora encumbered it with many a transgression. I wonder, will you seek to shed them, or will you carry them onward, picking them along the way like ripe fruit and surveying their sweet poison? I have put my faith in the Emperor. He gives you a scrumming look, then his tone softens. Well then, be twice as diligent, for the sector will seize any chance to test your faith. He looks at Argenta, who is standing nearby, and his voice softens slightly. Greetings, sister. I congratulate you on your return. Was your pilgrimage fruitful? It was, Reverend. Let it be known to you that Theodora von Valencia's ship was attacked by servants of arch-enemy, who appealed the heart of the righteous soul, she says, near hissing with fury. And not all of them met the fitting end. Some fled, and more than that, the blasphemous words clearly pointed to this attack being part of a large design. Reverend Hieronymus, I wish to join the esteemed rock trader crew and help protect the von Valencia's dynasty from the forces of arch-enemy. I am diverting myself to the responsibility of guarding the fruitful reliquary. Sister Argenta stood by my side during the assault on the ship, and I could use her assistance going forward. Hieronymus nods in thought. Follow the call of your soul, sister. The foot reliquary will be preserved even without your contribution, as it was all the years preceding your arrival. He smiles oddly. I know what it is that calls you to follow the rogue trader, Sister Argenta. You seek combat, for it helps you to forget how hollow and worthless your lives truly are. It offers the illusion of meaning. Perhaps you will relinquish this illusion one day, or perhaps you will die before that day comes. Regardless, I wish you luck on your new path. But before you start on the path towards your new destiny, I have a request to make of you and your companion. Many among my flocks are from the poorest, most disposed people of the Foothold. They brought me troubling news from Footfall Shadow Quarters. In the dark corners where the Liege Wardens do not venture, taint has taken root. Footfall is consumed by profanity, but even here true heresy serving the arch-enemy is a rarity. The cultists who now dwell in the Shadow Quarters mark their abodes with the sun inscribed in blue and gold, and perform strange rituals in secret. The weak find solace in believing those reports to be rumors, but I well know that evil lurks all around us, and I wish to see retribution. I come across heresy surprisingly often these days. Indeed, dark times are upon us, and wretched souls grow even more eager to embrace heresy. Both on Footfall and elsewhere, its souls boards are coming into bloom. Troubling news is arriving from many planets. There are whispers of wicked things taking place in Kiva Gamma, and just recently a transport ship by the name of Navika, teeming with refugees, arrived on Footfall from Winterscale realm. The world was stricken by blasphemous sedition, and such was its severity that they had to flee to save themselves. The Liege refused to accept them, so that they headed for Foulstone, a desolate cloister of the righteous. It was wise of them not to linger in this den of villainous. Why don't you get to the Liege with this matter? I do not walk the paths pleasing to the Liege. He frowns. Vladim is weak and riddled with worms on the inside. He seeks to please his Gazbalika masters, those peddlers of relics of the unholy Xenos. We will verify this rumor. With a great pleasure, Argenta puts her hand on the stock of her weapon. I almost wish for the rumor to be true. My heart yearns to battle some heretics. This is where I bid you goodbye, sister. Noble Nethys, is there more you wish to ask me? What are you doing, Footfall? What I'm doing in this den of blasphemies, pagans, and the vilest of souls, you meant to say? Well, Footfall is the first and last stop in the Coroner's Expanse. It is the point of arrival for those who have just started on the path, and it is also where those who are reaching its very end return, their souls wounded and bleeding. I embrace both the former and the latter, so that they may cast an honest eye over their impurity. Furthermore, rumors from across the entire sector are massing Footfall. If I heard crewmen whispering about the reclaimed shrine world, or expressing desire to carry the Emperor's light in the darkness among the stars, I help my flock in their sacred duty. Devoted stabilizers need assistance, both spiritual and material, tools, equipment, even garments and simple everyday items, anything that might help pilgrims on their long journey and during the first days of their harsh frontier life is worth its weight in gold to us. May any help you offer to the effort of gathering such things be blessed. The path of true believers leads into darkness, to search for words that have lost radiance, steep in depravity. Blessed are the deeds of those who gave themselves into the void and wrapped in hopes that their actions might bring light in the darker echoes of the expanse and deliver a previous barren world into an Imperium service. He is silent for a few seconds. And all the more bitter is the realization that not all brave souls will succeed in the mission. Footfall still awaits news from the wasteland wayfarer, an ancient ark of a ship headed for distant stars. Her last astrophatic message was sent from beyond the Cinerus Malfericorum, and the stars have kept the fate secret since. I bear another darker duty. The expanse is filled with the tainted creation of our holy heretics. These insidious objects are a danger to the soul, but I know what to do with them. Should you, on your travel, come upon dangerous corrupted object, bring them to me, and the reward for your vigilance will be even more generous. The Drusian mission has much to share with the rock trader. me about yourself. Neither my past nor my present hold any secrets, but take heed when gazing into my heart, for my dark thoughts lurk within. What is it? What's trouble in your heart? Bad omens, dark times have come. Ship from the Imperium barely appear Conora's expanse anymore. If footful shadow quarters stain thrives, and the people here are corrupt enough to succumb to it gladly. Rumors around the expanse say that the accursed Xenos have grown bold and are reeling their heads. They attack ships and settlements, walk under the suns of Imperium worlds like kings instead of cowering in the shadows. What next? What adversities awaits us in such a disgrace is happening already? He shakes his head sternly. There's more and more talk of how poorly things are going in Expanse. Some days it seems I can't take two steps without hearing some peasant pontificating on the matter. Even if it's dire as they say, the Von Valencia's realm will not crumble under the blows of fate, no matter how devastating. Chin up, Lord Captain. This is no time to lose heart and lament your lot. Not only is your hope false, it is also dangerous. Among his servants, there have been people of greater integrity who sullied themselves in their attempts to raise above the rest. Tell me about Drusians. We are sanctioned imperial cult which honors Saint Drusus, scourge of the Baal, Childer, bane of Xenos, just as he once fearlessly ventured into the Calix sector and spread-headed its conquest. So do we travel to untamed reaches and expand the Imperium borders. We are pilgrims and scouts who descend into the darkness of lawless sector, and our eyes are injured to voice and filth. Just as Saint Dracus found his martyr's death and was reborn in faith, so do we search for the purifying power of trials and suffering. From the fold of his back robe, he produces a thin pamphlet. Read this. It contains the basic of our dogma. Perhaps you will too sense the truth in Saint Drew's words. Who was he? He was a great saint, irrepressible and decisive. Drusus served the emperor as a simple member of the guard, who fought in the glorious Angevin crusade and rose to the rank of general. It was a grueling conquest. An imperium invaded the Calix sector, back then a savage expanse populated by the Xenos and heretics. Drusus delivered many defeats unto the enemies of humanity. He brought down the twisted kings of Craig, liberated the planet Dreth from the unholy dark daemons, and had many triumphs. But there they encountered a race of unholy Xenos, rivers of blood flows. Golgena Agvain died in his headquarters, and the crusade was about to crumble. But then we received unexpected help from a foe. The Xenos sent the assassin to the great Durus, but the Emperor Will shielded his servants from the attack. Slain but resurrected through a miracle, Drusus asserted himself at the head of the avenging crusade as a Lord Militant, and saw the Xenos' extermination through the end. He brought the Calix sector to accord and was proclaimed a living saint. Finally, the story of Saint Drus, is completely different. I've heard accounts of Drus wasn't a guardsman but an aristocrat, and he was a counterpart of for Golena positions who made an attempt on his life, and he didn't raise from the dead. The assassin just decided not to kill him. He looks at you with a smirk. Well, of course you've heard that, but just consider for a moment, whose words are you repeating right now? The one who put them into your head, or they mean the Imperium well? Think on it. Who were in the past? A wretched fiend, blinded by ambitions. I served in the home planet Adeptus Administrata Entrum Division. I was a shrewd and sly bureaucrat, and I soared to great heights, to the very chair of prefect. The 30 years I turned my home from a withered French colony into a prosperous world. Our wealth grew as we bloomed. But the bloom was veneer for us. Opulence had depraved us, and luxury has seduced us with its sordid promises. The planet's dissonance no longer wished to pray to our work. They only sought entertainment and dangerous philosophies. 1,000 vile heresies, and a million appealing voices bred on my world like a mold on a Nutribar. In those days I saw with my own eyes the shameless ugliness of the souls. I, represented of my hubris, left the position of a perfect and became a traveling missionary. I have been one ever since. As for my world, 20 years later the Holy Inquisition consignated it to purify flames. The Emperor is merciful for allowing you the chance for redemption. Who said that I had redeemed myself? I doomed an entire planet to degeneracy. You think a decade or two of wandering with mission is enough to atone for that? No, I'm a poor excuse for a shepherd in his eyes. Your words about the past are drowned by murky husk in sickly green, and you talk of the present falls in grey flakes of ash upon the shoulders of your listeners. Sorrow truly weighs heavily on you. And this is why the fire in your words is devoid of golden radiance. The faded flickers of teaching leave nothing but black soot in the soul. Tell me something about your faith. My sermon planted the seeds of faith in the heart of another rock trader one. Incendia Horoda, perhaps you are destined to become my second fledgling. Tell me more about the Emperor. You think it is so easy to put into words his essence and splendor? The Emperor is the perfect deity that reads out hearts and grants us his light. He led humanity out of darkness and horror. He created our great home. He experienced torment and pain which only made him stronger. That is a lesson for us all. Purity is not to be bound at the bottom of the deity's hive or in golden palaces, but only amongst the ranks of those who suffer. Argenta's silence makes the sign of Aquila, her bright eyes burning with unyielding flame. What is the proper way of worship him? Pray to him, destroy his enemies, and touch not their poison gifts. Cast aside all doubt and be vigilant against the weak souls beside you. When you see a signs of taint, burn it away without pity. Pain is good, it tears the crust of the vileness from one's souls. And remember that if you see no fault in you or around you, then you are not being diligent enough in your search, or you are being too lenient on yourself, averting your eyes from the truth. The Emperor's servants, who are they? You speak of the Adeptus Ministratum. Well, these heralds of his world hold great power. Every priest, myself included, is part of his hierarchy, and the ecclesiarchy possesses the unique right to judge what is virtuous and what is malign. The Adeptus Ministrum prays and cares for temples. It sends missions such as my own to every corner of the domain of humanity. It fights against heresies. May the Emperor bless his faithful servants. You think that's his mercy extends that far? I have been many who wish to be our shepherds. Power clouds the vision, and their greedy hands scoop up all they can reach. The ecclesia is long overdue for cleansing. Many will consider your remarks about the ecclesia to be heretical, and many others would find them truthful. I am preacher of a radical teaching that renounces fear. I've left the boundaries of the blessed Imperium to carry his light into the darkness of the frontier. I've come to know depravity firsthand, and I am now able to perceive it under any guise. I think I can afford myself a modicum of truth. Who is the enemy of the Imperium? It has three faces: the inhuman Xenos, who wish death upon us simply because they are unlike us; the pitiful subhuman mutants, abomination that wish death upon us because they envy us and are ashamed of themselves; and the arch enemies that reigns in the Immaterium, which wish death upon us by its very nature. Hydra starts giggling at his words. He's forgot to mention people like me. My whole life people have told me I'm filth on the face of humanity. It's poison, it's bane. She stopped absolutely with a sob. Tell me about this, Codra. Have you heard about a spice Codra, pirate, blasphemer, xenophile, and egregious apostate? Incertia is her heir, and and a rarity among rogue traders. The protection of the Holy Warren typically leads to swift atrophy of conscience and pious dread, but not for incendiary ascates. She relentlessly hunts down pirates and firebrands and brings rebellion colonies to repentance, establishing strict discipline. The weight of her wrath is great indeed. The colonies she punishes are grinded with orbital rings of heretics' corpses as a warning for the survivors. As her personal confessor and guide, I find no end to the joy her troops in the fight brings me. Her tolerance is worth your respect. It's good that you realize this. It may be difficult to admit, but mercy is weakness and a gateway for degradation. We can move our conversation to a more better place befitting people of our rank. Why, for a missionary, this temple is a patch of deck beneath his feet. From where I stand, I can clearly see the life of my flock. All is bustling, blooming, and wailing. Here I can see the vile urges, futile hopes, and precious sincerity. If I were in the habit of locking myself in a temple, would I have made in time to intervene with massacre of my subjects from Kivagama? No, truth resides not in golden halls, but here in a square among the people. Golden halls are home to other, far filthy things. In this mismatch of devices and cables, you notice equipment from totally different areas, some ancient, some merely old, and others hastily tossed together in more recent years.
Experience. Nothing matters more.
success is an irrefutable certainty.
The light of terror shines for us. Let's proceed.
Hello, Hammer voice is quiet and doesn't gaze a shift on you. The tall mouth, with the shaved head, is rubbed his hands together nervously. His opulent clothes are nearing bustling on the seams of the muscular body, and his expression is forbiddingly grim. Still, he's trying to put on an air of friendliness. Greeting, you must be Lord von Valancius, your lordship. I heard about your arrival on footfall, of course. And about Lady Theodora passing, but I wasn't told you not on the list. He stops, but that's not a problem, of course. Please, come on in. A chaplain is about to begin. But we are waiting for one more attendant to arrive. Fedilo. Without Fedilo, it's been for nothing. Mumbling, the man excuses himself and joins the other attendees. You catch a sight of something odd before stepping away from you. The man gestures subtly to the near servitor, giving it some kind of command. The servitor quickly removes the bottles of non-stick and glasses set out for the attendees from a nearby table. The gathering, you found yourself at a seemingly refined and respectable at first glance. The decoration and the attendance's clothes speak of wealth, and so does the location, which isn't far from the lineage residence. But you notice that most of those things gathered here are of rather imposing physique. Many of them have scars and military-grade implants. Several of the guests look like they are covering the exits. A few are clearly carrying concealed weapons. I wonder who this Fidel is and why he cannot stop proceeding until he or she appears. Judging by the way the fellow with this list was talking about him, it's someone very important, but it's not the name I've heard before. I've never heard that name before either. What is this place and what is going on here? I know nothing about this place, but I can feel that something is in the works here. I sense danger and opportunity. This is little danger, but big opportunity. Oh, what a terrible, sorrowful day. We pay our respect to the life and soul of Footfall Society, a loyal servant of the Imperium, and generous benefactor who spared no expense to keep the fire of faith burning, and an example of all the future generation, and the most noble of unforgettable Master Belarondo. This loss, the Fusi Administratorum clerk speaks in a straight voice, and keeps speaking at the paper with text on it. His speech drags on and on, blending into the monotonous cascade of praises of the late Master Balladoro. So let us offer a prayer to the Emperor for the response of Master Balladoro's soul and the prosperity of his heirs. I now pass you over to your most revered chaplain. A formidable-looking man dressed in the attire of an ecclesiarchy missionary glares at the gathered crowds. And there you are, you vultures. Let's offer a prayer then. But if you think that the Emperor of the messenger of his will is other words myself, does not see into the vile souls, you are sorely mistaken. Chaplain looks at you and gives you a slight nod. I wasn't referring to our esteemed guest, but the rest of you I know all too well. So go ahead, pray for Balladoro's soul. Soon the flames will take him. A fitting end to the life like his. May the Emperor keep his soul. Without another word, Chaplain makes the sign of the Aquila and pointlessly turns away from the attendees.